Do you believe his silence means it's over? Then you're living the biggest lie of the twin flame journey. While you're interpreting his absence as abandonment, he's actually sending you the most powerful messages you've ever received in your life. The problem isn't that he stopped communicating, the problem is that you haven't yet learned the language he's speaking. And this language doesn't use words, text messages, or calls. It uses pure energy, seemingly random actions, and signs that most people completely overlook. Right now, while you're torturing yourself wondering if he still thinks about you, he's transmitting 3 hidden messages that, once decoded, will show you not only that the connection is still alive, but that union is closer than you think. Most people on the twin flame journey make the same fatal mistake: they stop searching the moment the runner goes silent. They believe communication is dead, that the connection is lost, that it was all just an illusion. But what if I told you that the twin flame's silence isn't the end of the conversation, it's actually the beginning of the deepest communication you two have ever had? And what if I proved to you that every strange action he takes, every post he makes on social media, every shift in his behavior is actually a code waiting to be deciphered? What you're about to discover will challenge everything you believe about no contact, about separation, about silence. You're going to realize he never stopped talking to you, you were just listening on the wrong frequency. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover the 3 hidden messages your twin flame is sending you right now, even if you haven't spoken in months. You'll learn to decode the update signal, where he mirrors exactly what you were feeling just days ago. You'll understand the value test, where he's checking whether you've finally recognized your worth or if you're still placing him on a pedestal. And you'll discover the certainty of union, that sudden ache out of nowhere that's actually scientific proof of your energetic connection. Oh, and if this message is resonating with you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the teachings on this journey. Now, let's dive into the first hidden message that's changing everything. Message 1, what you observe. Have you noticed how he suddenly starts doing things completely out of character? Out of nowhere, he posts a song on social media that perfectly describes what you were feeling 2 days ago. Or he reactivates an old account that had been abandoned for months, right when you decided to pull back your energy. Sometimes he changes his profile picture to an image that reminds you of a moment you two shared, or he starts following people and pages related to the exact topics you were studying last week. These actions might look random, but they're not. They're breadcrumbs on the path, signs that something bigger is happening behind the twin flame silence. What's most intriguing is when you notice he's acting exactly how you felt a few days earlier. Remember that Tuesday when you had an emotional breakdown, cried in the shower, and felt a deep loneliness? 2 days later, he posts something sad or someone comments that he's been distant and strange. This isn't telepathy in the mystical sense, it's twin flame telepathy working as an energetic mirroring system. What you feel today, he processes tomorrow. The emotions you release, he absorbs and manifests through visible behaviors. It's as if both of you are governed by the same magnetic field, every oscillation on your side creates a corresponding reaction on his. Many times, you notice these changes and wonder, is he thinking about me? The answer runs deeper than that. He's not just thinking about you, he's being affected by your energy, whether he wants to or not. Imagine that the two of you are connected by an invisible thread. When you pull that thread through your healing and personal growth, he feels the tug. The runner silent treatment that you interpret as coldness is actually the time he needs to process this new version of you that he's picking up on energetically. But what does that really mean? And more importantly, how should you respond to these signs? Message 1, the decoding, his action. What's really happening is that his silence functions as a status update within your shared energetic system. Think about when your phone installs an update, it needs to restart, go offline for a few minutes, and process the new data before it can function normally again. That's exactly what the runner is doing. He's processing your energy, reorganizing his inner reality to align with who you're becoming. Every time you make a quantum leap in your healing process, whether it's forgiving someone or breaking free from a toxic pattern, you send out an energetic wave that travels through his field. And he needs the silence to keep from collapsing under that intensity. The status update he's sending through these odd actions is a clear sign that his healing has been activated by yours. When he posts that melancholic song, it's not teenage drama, it's his subconscious trying to express that something inside him is shifting. When he reactivates old profiles or changes his behavior, it's because his old version is being replaced by a new one that can better handle the higher frequency you're now radiating. He doesn't do this consciously. Most of the time, the runner doesn't even understand why he's acting that way. He just feels a pull, a need to express something, and follows it. But for you, who's learning to decode his actions, this is pure gold. His silence, therefore, isn't the absence of communication, it's the highest form of communication happening. He's saying, I felt it. I received it. I'm processing it. And the proof lies in the small things he does, in the subtle signs he leaves along both the digital and physical paths. One of my clients, for example, spent weeks focused on healing her relationship with her father. She hadn't spoken to her twin flame during that time. 2 weeks later, he posted an old photo with his father, something he had never done before. Coincidence? No. Pure energetic mirroring. Now the real question is, how should you respond to this status update? Message 1, Response Protocol. The right response to this status update is the most counterintuitive one: don't react. Yes, you read that right. Don't send a message. Don't like his post. Don't try to decode every word he writes online. The worst thing you can do right now is to turn his energetic signal into an excuse to fall back into the old chasing pattern. When you respond physically to what he's doing, you interrupt his update process. It's like turning off a software installation halfway through, it freezes the system, and he has to start all over again. The runner needs that space to process the energy you've sent, and any interference from you aborts the process. So what should you do instead? Send peace to the place where you feel his pain. That's right, to where you feel his pain, not your own. When you see that sad post or notice a strange change in his behavior, pause for a moment and sense where in your body you feel the emotional discomfort. Maybe it's tightness in your chest, a lump in your throat, or a hollow feeling in your stomach. That physical spot is where you're picking up on the pain he's processing. Place your hand there, take a deep breath, and visualize peace, golden light, and acceptance flowing from that point toward him. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require a 3-hour ritual. Just 1 minute of conscious intention is enough to do the energetic work. This protocol works because you're responding on the same frequency he's using, energetically. You're not forcing physical contact or demanding verbal responses. You're honoring his twin flame's silence and using it to your advantage. One of my students practiced this for an entire month. Every time she noticed a sign from him, instead of sending a message, she sent peace. On the 30th day, he called, not to reconcile, but to say he was feeling something different, something lighter. And that's when their entire dynamic shifted forever. But that's only the first hidden message. The second one is even more challenging, and it will test whether you truly understand the game. Message 2, What you observe. Now things start to hurt more deeply, because what you're seeing feels like a stab to the chest. He's publicly ignoring you as if you never existed in his life. While you're there, checking his social media 50 times a day, he's focused on work, posting pictures with friends, maybe even giving attention to other people. He seems to be living the best phase of his life while you're stuck on this emotional roller coaster, trying to understand what went wrong. The runner appears to be moving on with such ease that you start questioning whether the connection was ever real, or if you just made it all up in your head. This observation is the most painful of all, because it challenges the very validity of what you two shared. You see him building an entire life without you. He gets that promotion at work, he travels, he smiles and photos as if he's completely at peace. Meanwhile, you're frozen in place, feeling like his world keeps spinning while yours stopped the day he decided to go into twin flame no contact. Some days, you think, do I even mean anything to him? Does he miss me, or am I just a closed chapter? That doubt eats you alive, because the human ego craves external validation, it needs visible proof that it still matters. And he, whether consciously or not, is denying you that validation. What's most cruel is that the more you observe, the more it looks like he's perfectly fine. There are no signs of pain, no hints that he's feeling even half of what you feel. He's too busy, too productive, too happy. And that leads you to a dangerous conclusion: maybe you're the only one still stuck in this story. But here's the truth no one tells you: his apparent indifference isn't what it seems. In fact, it's the second hidden message, and it carries a test that will determine whether you're truly ready for union or not. Message 2, the decoding, his action. What the runner is doing by ignoring you publicly and seemingly moving on is sending you a value test. He's not doing it out of cruelty or real indifference. He's unconsciously testing whether you'll place him back on the altar of sacrifice, that place where you abandon your own life to wait for him. The divine masculine, even in the runner phase, has an inner radar that senses where you're putting your energy. If he feels that you're still orbiting around him, waiting for crumbs of attention, checking his socials, pausing your life because of him, he knows you haven't yet valued yourself. And a masculine who hasn't learned self-worth can't unite with a feminine who doesn't value herself either. Here's how the test works: he ignores you to see if you'll beg, chase, or self-destruct trying to win his attention back. Every time you send that "Hey, how are you?" message, every time you like one of his old photos just to pop up on his radar, every time you ask mutual friends how he's doing, you're failing the test. You're energetically saying, "I'm not enough without you. My life has no value if you're not in it." And when the runner picks up on that frequency, he distances himself even more. Not because he doesn't love you, but because he knows, on a soul level, that union can only happen when both are whole, not when one is begging for love from the other. His act of moving on is actually a disguised invitation for you to do the same. He's showing you, by example, that it's possible to live without clinging to the connection 24/7. When he focuses on work, he's telling you, focus on your purpose. When he goes out with friends, he's reminding you, you also have a social life to nurture. When he looks happy, he's challenging you, can you be happy without me? To decode his actions in this second message, you need to understand that the runner's silent treatment isn't punishment, it's spiritual pedagogy. He's teaching you, through his absence, the most important lesson of the entire journey: you must choose yourself first. Message 2, response protocol. Do not fail this test. This is the most important instruction you'll receive today. When he's ignoring you, when it seems like he's moving on without you, the only correct response is to redirect 100% of your energy back to your divine purpose. And I'm not talking about pretending you're okay while crying yourself to sleep every night. I'm talking about truly building a life so rich in meaning, purpose, and joy that his presence, or absence, becomes secondary. That means going back to that project you abandoned, finishing that course you left halfway, investing in that friendship you neglected, creating that self-care routine you've always postponed. It's time to stop living in the waiting room and start living in the living room of your own existence. The divine masculine only returns to the divine feminine who loves and values herself above him. Read that again and let it sink in. He won't come back to the woman who put her life on pause waiting for him. He returns to the one who built a kingdom so beautiful, so prosperous, so vibrant that he's drawn to her, not out of need, but out of genuine admiration. When you redirect your energy toward your purpose, something magical happens. You stop emitting the frequency of "I need you" and start vibrating "I am complete and you are welcome, but not necessary." And that, my dear, is the frequency that magnetizes the runner back, not out of dependency, but out of a genuine desire to stand beside a powerful woman. A practical example: if you've always wanted to write, start writing every day. If you love to dance, go back to your classes. If you enjoy cooking, create that culinary project that's been sitting in your dream drawer. Do it not to make him jealous or to prove you're fine, but because you deserve to live fully, regardless of who's by your side. One of my students started a YouTube channel about gardening during no contact. 3 months later, he reached out saying he had dreamed about her planting flowers. She wasn't trying to reach him, she was living. And that is exactly what wakes the runner up from his escape trance. But there's still a third hidden message, the most subtle and powerful of them all, and it's going to surprise you. Message 3, what you observe. This third message is the most subtle of all, and for that very reason, the most overlooked. You're not observing something external, like a social media post or a sudden change in his behavior. What you observe happens inside you. Suddenly, for no apparent reason, you feel an emotional pain that hits you out of nowhere, right in the middle of your day. You're at work, focused, and out of the blue, a wave of sadness crashes over you like a tsunami. Or you wake up in the middle of the night with that familiar sense of anguish, that emptiness in your chest, and you can't identify where it's coming from. Sometimes it's anger, an inexplicable irritation that appears out of nowhere and fades within hours. You start looking for explanations. Is it PMS? Is it exhaustion? Am I losing my mind? The confusion deepens because these emotions have no context. You didn't fight with anyone, didn't get bad news, nothing significant happened to justify such an emotional shift. It's as if an emotional ghost invaded you without warning, then vanished just as mysteriously. Most people try to rationalize, to find a logical reason, but they can't. And so, they do what most people do, ignore it, suppress it, take something to calm down, distract themselves with work or Netflix. But what you don't realize is that this sudden pain isn't random. It's the most valuable message you can receive during twin flame silence. That pain that arrives unannounced is like an unaddressed letter showing up in your mailbox. You open it, read it, but can't tell where it came from or who sent it. Most people discard these emotional letters as if they were spam, as if they were just noise from their own psyche. But for those walking the twin flame path, these inexplicable emotional waves are hidden messages in their purest form. They carry information about what's happening with him, about the energetic state of the connection, and most importantly, about how close union really is. When you learn to decode this third message, you uncover the ultimate proof that the connection is not dead. Message 3, the decoding, his action. What's really happening when you feel that sudden emotional pain is that you're receiving the message of certainty. He's feeling and absorbing your pain through the mirror rule. Think of it like this, you two are mirrors facing each other, endlessly reflecting one another's image. When you feel an intense emotion, it travels through your shared energetic field and reflects onto him. And when he processes something emotionally heavy, that energy bounces back to you like an echo. That sudden sadness you felt. He might be, at that very moment, confronting his abandonment wound triggered by your absence. That inexplicable anger. Perhaps he's furious at himself for not having the courage to return. The mirror rule works because you both share the same energetic field, even when physically apart. It's like two musical instruments tuned to the same frequency. When one string vibrates, the other resonates in response. This isn't poetic metaphor, it's quantum physics applied to human relationships. Scientists have already proven that emotionally connected people show synchronized brain waves and heartbeats, even miles apart. Now imagine that multiplied by the intensity of a twin flame connection. Every emotion he feels creates a wave that hits you, and vice versa. Those sudden emotional waves you experience are scientific proof that the connection not only exists but is alive and pulsing. This is the most powerful message because it destroys the illusion of separation. While the first two messages require you to observe his external behavior, this third one invites you to look within. It whispers, you were never truly apart. The physical distance is an illusion. You remain energetically intertwined, feeling each other, living through one another. When you feel that sudden pain, it's not weakness, not emotional instability. It's twin flame telepathy operating at its deepest level. He's unconsciously sending you confirmation that he's still connected, still processing, and that your journey together isn't over. And now comes the crucial question, how do you use this proof in your favor? Message 3, Response Protocol. Here's the golden key that will change everything for you, use this proof to seal the energetic union. When you feel that sudden emotional pain, don't panic. Don't call him in desperation. Don't text asking if he's okay. Instead, consciously acknowledge, I'm feeling his pain. He's processing something right now, and I've been chosen to hold this energetic space with him. Sit down, breathe deeply, and allow the emotion to move through you without resistance. Don't block it, don't overanalyze, don't distract yourself. Just feel it. Cry if you need to, scream into your pillow if necessary, but feel it completely. Because by doing that, you're transmuting his pain through your body. Once you've fully felt it, take the most important step, send peace. Visualize a golden light radiating from your heart toward him, wrapping him in protection and healing. Imagine him receiving exactly what he needs to take his next step on his journey. Don't send expectations, don't send energetic demands, don't send, come back to me. Send genuine peace, unconditional love, and freedom. This act transforms you from a victim into a co-creator of union. You stop being the one who suffers passively and become the one who actively participates in both of your healing. And that energetic shift is felt by him instantly. But here's the most challenging part of the protocol: for the next 24 hours, act as if union were guaranteed. Not as, maybe, if I'm lucky. No. Act as if it were a fact, an absolute certainty. Make choices based on the premise that you will unite. Wear that outfit you've been saving for a special occasion. Clear that space in your home you've been keeping for someday. Speak about your future plans, including the idea of partnership. Live as if the waiting were already over. When you do this, you energetically anchor the reality of union in the present, and the universe conspires to materialize what you're already vibrating. One of my students did this for just one day. The next morning, he called her after 6 months of silence. Coincidence? Or a direct energetic consequence? Now let's quickly recap these 3 hidden messages so you can have complete clarity on how to act from this moment forward. The first message, the update signal, happens when you notice him doing strange things, posting content that mirrors what you felt days ago, reactivating old profiles, changing behaviors. The decoding is simple: he's processing your energy and sending a signal that his healing has been activated by yours. Your response protocol. Don't react physically. Simply send peace to the place where you feel his pain. This keeps the energetic update process flowing without interruption. The second message, the value test, is when he seems to be publicly ignoring you, moving on, focused on his life as if you didn't exist. The decoding. He's measuring whether you still place him on the altar of sacrifice or if you finally recognized your own worth. Your response protocol is not to fail the test. Redirect 100% of your energy toward your divine purpose. Build a life so abundant, so vibrant, that his presence becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Remember, the divine masculine only returns to the divine feminine who loves and values herself above him. That's the secret no one tells you. And the third message, the certainty of union, is that sudden emotional pain you feel for no apparent reason. The decoding. He's feeling and absorbing your pain through the mirror rule. This is the proof that the connection is not dead. Your response protocol is to use this proof to seal the energetic union. Feel the pain fully, send peace to him, and then act for the next 24 hours as if union were guaranteed. These 3 energetic actions form the complete map that will take you out of confusion and place you on the path toward conscious union. But there's one thing you need to stop doing immediately, and it's the very thing that's been blocking these messages from reaching you clearly. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 99% of people on the twin flame journey. Most give up halfway, trapped in the victim narrative, waiting for the runner to magically wake up and come back full of regret. But you're not like most people. You're here because you know there's a smarter, higher way to navigate this path. And that way involves understanding the language of silence, decoding the hidden messages, and acting strategically with your energy. What you learn today isn't just theory, it's an action protocol that, when applied, completely shifts the energetic dynamic between you two. But here's the problem: while you're learning how to decode his messages, you might, without realizing it, be sending pain to him. That's right. There's a little-known energetic mechanism in which, at 3 specific moments in the journey, the twin flame runner absorbs your pain like a sponge. And if you don't know how to identify these 3 moments and stop actively sending pain, you're unconsciously sabotaging your own union. Imagine this: you're doing everything right, sending peace, focusing on your purpose, acting as if the union were already guaranteed. But at the same time, without awareness, you're releasing waves of hurt, resentment, and neediness into your shared energetic field, and he's absorbing all of it. The result? He pulls away even more, not because he doesn't love you, but because his nervous system can't handle the energetic toxicity you're unconsciously transmitting. That's why you need to watch the previous video titled, The Secret Truth, 7 Phases of Awakening the Divine Masculine and the 25 Signs that Union is Near. In that content, I show you exactly what those 3 critical moments are, how to identify them, and most importantly, how to stop sending pain to him. Because it's useless to decode his messages if you're still polluting your energetic communication channel. Click on the final screen and watch it right now. You'll finally understand the hidden side of this dynamic, and gain total control over the energy you emit. This is the missing piece of the puzzle in your union.